back to Daytime Live. Right now we're joined by the amazing Maxine Walters, and she's here to talk about the Black Exposure exhibition.
Yes.
Welcome, Maxine. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me.
Maxine, before we get to the exhibition, I was asking you before, you're a cultural ambassador and also a producer.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about the work that you do.
Wow, I've been in this business for many years.
Right.
I produce feature films.
Right.
I produce commercials. In fact, I've produced all of Usain Bolt's international commercials, pretty much all. I would say 98% since he was 15 years old.
Bossy.
Everything international. He's great to work with. He's an amazing human being.
True.
I do documentaries. I did. There's a while when music videos, kept me alive when nothing else was going. So I've pretty much done the gamut of it. So I'm used to this.
Awesome. All right, so tell us a little bit about Johnny Black and this exhibition.
Oh God, Johnny Black is this incredible human being. Johnny at this stage of his life is in his 80s. Now, when I met him, I was like a 19-year-old. And when I met him, he was an executive at Esso, executive, a fancy car and all this stuff, but he always had his camera with him. And suddenly one day he upped and quit the commercial world and disappeared into the mountains. But then he came down and started taking photographs, and he had the most incredible access to Bob Marley. Some of the iconic photographs of Bob Marley you've seen, he took them. But he also had this unbelievable access to all the other famous and the artists of the time, Gregory Isaacs, Black Uhuru, all of these people. So the photographs of this exhibition are all vintage, and I mean vintage. And they were taken at a time by a person who could go into the places where others couldn't go, and that's Johnny Black. So, now, what can I tell you about the exhibition? Christmas last year, I was at Muta Baruka's birthday party and saw Johnny for the first time in years. And he said, Maxine, I want to get my photographs out. And I went, yeah, time for the show. Lots of people wanted to see them, but nobody, he wouldn't let them go. And I said, okay, let me think about this. Then Justine Hensel, Perry's daughter, called me up about 3 weeks ago and said, Maxine, I want you to create a show for me for Reggae Month. And I said, you know what? 1 + 1 = 2. Johnny Black and Justine and 10A West Kings House Road, which was the home of, and Black Exposure was born.
That's nice.
This exhibition has a panel.
Yes, no, that is the story.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Well, in working with Johnny and talking about what we were going to do, of course, I have a filmmaker's mind. I said, well, we need to have some of the people. Let me start again. I've done a lot of interviews with reggae artists and people in the reggae business, like Cox and Dodd. His last interview I did for VH1. So all of this stuff is owned by international people. Wow, I see my signs up there. Are owned by international people. And I kept thinking, we must do something from the inside out. It's about time. So while I was putting this show together, I said, who do you want to open the show, Johnny? He said, Tommy Cowan. I went, okay. Ronnie Burke was a good friend from the Sunsplash days, and Ronnie and I were founders of Reggae Sunsplash. Then there was, I said, who else do you want? And he said, Ronnie Burke, Colin Leslie, Third World, Tommy Cowan, Mr. Yes Indeed himself, opening the show, and Muta Baruka. All of these people were around when we started Sunsplash. All these people were around when all this music was being made in the 60s and 70s and 80s mainly. And I said, well, why don't we have a little chat? And he said, great. So all these guys are coming and we're having a talk from the inside out, telling the experiences they had, creating what we know today as the history of reggae music.
But you mentioned telling the story from inside out. Yes. I will notice that you're doing it from 10A West Kings House Road.
Inside.
For those who don't know, please explain the significance of this address. Okay,
10A West Kings House Road is the home of Perry Hensel, the person who made The Harder They Come, the director, producer of The Harder They Come. Perry, this house is like an oasis in the middle of Kingston. And Perry would allow everybody just to come and go and be there. And so a lot of the photographs were taken there. I mean, The Harder They Come was written there. There were two 100 commercials made there with Perry Hensel and all kinds of other international producers. The house is such an iconic reggae location. Bob hung out there. Everybody who's anybody in reggae spent time there. So, unbelievable place for this exhibition to be.
So how long is the exhibit on for?
It opens today, the 11th, and it closes on the 29th. It's a Reggae Month exhibition. We're making sure, Reggae Month is the most exciting time to be in Jamaica. As you know, we're making sure we make it more exciting. And you must come, because I'm also filming the conversation.
Wicked.
So that we can have, continuity.
Wicked. All right, so the question that I'm sure everybody wants to know.
Yes.
How much it costs?
Free.
Oh, yeah, sir. Say that again.
It's completely free.
It's how much?
It's free if you buy one ticket, like you buy one free?
No. Everybody can come. You're welcome to come and come through. The exhibition will be running every day throughout, and everybody is welcome to come and see these photos of the icons in their natural, wonderful environment.
Awesome. So it starts today.
Yeah.
So 11th of
Well, what time
February,
does it open?
It opens at 6 o'clock.
At 6.
6 a.m.?
6 p.m., sorry.
6 p.m., oh.
Yeah, 6 p.m. this evening. 6 a.m. gone already.
Oh, no, I'm talking about regularly.
Oh, regularly. Oh, I would say one should come in from about, 9, 10 o'clock. There's an iconic photograph. It's Black Uhuru, the original Black
Wicked.
Uhuru, Puma with her baby, Ducky, and Valerie Cowan, who was the first wife of Tommy.
Wow.
Valerie Chan Cowan, amazing woman. Yes, great
Wow,
photograph.
amazing. Thank you so much.
You're very
Maxine, for
welcome, and
joining
thank
us.
you so much for having us.
Black Exposure.
Black Exposure is here to stay.
Right,
Yes.
10 a, West Kings House Road. The only thing you have to pay is attention. Come out. Check it. Check it out.
I like that one. I like
As
that
a
one.
comedian, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, Daytime Live will be right back, and we're going to talk about safe sex.
Ooh,
We're so
important.
forward.